Hello again. Let's take a look today at Olympia Rising, available for PC on Steam. If you'd like a chance to win a copy of Olympia Rising, watch the review to see what kind of comment you need to submit. The winner will be chosen randomly from the comments section. For more giveaways, hit the subscribe button. I've got 10 other games I'll be giving keys away for over the next couple weeks. Released in 2015, Olympia Rising is a 2D action platformer. Our hero, Iola, has been cast into the underworld, but hope is not lost. The otherworldly gatekeeper will help guide her through each level, but for a price. He requires a set amount of coins from each level to let you progress. Coins are laying around each level and also drop from enemies. Killing multiple enemies in a row without touching the ground increases the amount of coins they drop. There are more coins per level than is required for the gatekeeper, so she may end up with extra coins on each level. This is a nice gameplay feature as the additional coins carry over and give you a little buffer room for the harder levels where you may not be able to collect all the coins in time. Our hero has multiple attacks and techniques at her disposal. The basic attack is a short-range sword slash. The same attack done while jumping is an effective technique for flying enemies, and mastery of that attack is required to rack up bonus coins. She can jump and double jump. There's a mana bar that's filled up by collecting mana potions on each level. There are a few special attacks and jumps that use mana and drain the mana bar each time. There's a fireball attack, the ability to jump and propel yourself straight up, and jump and spin in the air to cover longer distances. Iola starts with 3 hearts for health and loses 1 each time she is damaged. Food is available on some levels to help refill 1 heart. Defeating bosses gives a permanent extra heart that carry over to each level. Losing all her hearts makes Iola have to start the stage over, and there's no number of limits to the times you can retry each level. The underworld has a bat infestation, as they're all over each level. Bats are great for racking up the coin multipliers, but damage the hero if they're touched. There are some more difficult to kill ground-based enemies, such as a scorpion and a skeleton with an extremely long-range attack. Ground attack is not as fluid as air combat, and Iola's basic attack doesn't have the range of some of the ground enemies, meaning it's easy to get damaged and lose a heart. I found it easier to just jump over the ground enemies, as the reward for fighting one of them, 1 coin, just wasn't worth the risk of losing health. Some levels have acid that start rising up from the floor, and the acid doesn't stop until it reaches the top of the level, or Iola finishes the level first. This racks up the difficulty of the levels because she has to get enough coins while trying to stay ahead of the acid. There are boss fights after completing some levels. Luckily, the boss fights don't require collecting coins and don't require replaying an entire level to reach the boss. The bosses are bigger than regular enemies and require multiple hits to take down once you figure out their attack pattern. The reward for defeating each boss is an additional heart. This game has a pixel art style that's beautiful. Iola is well animated and looks fluid running, jumping, and slashing. It's animated so well she just looks like a ballet dancer jumping and slashing. There's abundant detail in the background levels as well. This is not a bare bones pixel art game. There was a lot of care put into this. The music's outstanding as well. A chiptune sound that harkens back to the NES days without being overly repetitive. Oftentimes, smaller indie games use pixel art style and retro sounds, and it doesn't look and sound that great. That's understandable, but Olympia Rising doesn't settle for average. It looks and sounds great. The game can be controlled by a keyboard or 360 controller. I don't know if another controller will work with it. I only have a 360, so that's what I tested it with. My first few attempts with the game, I used the keyboard, and that's definitely not the way to play the game. This game really needs to be controlled with a controller. After switching over to my 360 controller, everything was great. There wasn't a death where I ever felt cheated by the controls. And there were a lot of deaths. This game ramps up the difficulty quite quickly. It never felt unfair, but the levels with the acid rising got slightly annoying, as the slightest misstep into the acid meant instant death and having to do the level over. Olympia Rising is a beautiful game that's on the difficult side. I recommend it to anyone who enjoys platforming games and has a controller. If you'd like to try and win a Steam key for Olympia Rising, just leave a comment below. Let's stay on theme with the game. Your comment should be what your favorite Greek god is and why. I'll pick a winner at random in the next couple of days. If you'd like more chances to win, subscribe, as I have lots more games to give away.